Hello, welcome to Game 4 of Minionpawn versus Personman. I'm joined by Nerdbound.
Hello again.
And Minionpawn's got a 3-0 lead, so Personman, they got first player here. They gotta right the ship, and already we've got one of the preemptively least favorite cards in the new Allies expansion, which is Sentinel. Although, yeah, I don't know if either player got the really bad split here. I think I would much rather have Minionpawn's turn 3 draw than Personman's.
Yeah.
Why did they... so much is happening here. Why did they buy Swamp Hag?
Swamp Hag is very surprising there.
And Minionpawn's... and Personman's Sentinel just entirely missed the shuffle, so that's pretty brutal.
Yeah. So Minionpawn decides to have their Sentinel miss the shuffle.
I think I want to set aside Sentinel Copper here and buy a Border Guard, and then trash 2 estates. Personman has added a lot of terminals. 3 terminals already in a deck of 14 cards.
Kinda, right? They got these gears, right? And durations, basically, right? So it's
it's
like a
half terminals,
terminal, and then a half terminal, and then like a quarter terminal.
That's still more than one in a shuffle, but
right.
You're only planning on playing the Sentinel 3 times maybe in the course of the game. In some ideal world, you'd play it more times, but it doesn't seem like there's, we're going to start ramping up the governor stuff here. I'm befuddled by the Swamp Hag. I don't get it.
Yeah, Swamp Hag's really unusual here, of course, because Sentinel trashing means it's just not that bad of a problem.
And you're using governor for your gain, so you're really only buying 1 card at a time, right?
Right.
And Border Guards, they're going to have a lot of extra sifting here. Minionpawn decided to play the Sentinel there versus Gear and gain and play it the next turn. I'm not 100% sure. You played it fast enough. I didn't fully decide. But here we see if this Swamp Hag was a governor instead of a Swamp Hag, we could have gained a gold or drawn or done something. Probably gained a gold and then played Sentinel and trashed 2.
And then the fact that nothing's working, of course, means that you're not hitting 6, and then that's how you were going to fix your terminal problem.
Yeah. Because I assume every time you hit 6, you're going to go Border Village Governor for a while?
From here on out, you probably hit 6, so it's going to be okay. Well, I say that, and then you get draws like this.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried about the number of terminals. I think you have to suck it up with the Swamp Hag and play, and then you're hitting 6 that turn, right? The next turn, most likely.
Yeah,
obviously, this is
at some point. This might be the turn to just grab the Sentinel and trash again, though.
Yeah, I'm loath to do that with all of my terminals in hand. But this is also kind of ouch with, drawing more, revealing the 2 and then drawing 2 more. There's an estate. There's more crap in this shuffle we could have seen. And the Border Guard has a nice bit of synergy with the Sentinel because we can discard stuff throughout our shuffle and then play the Sentinel at the end of the shuffle here, which is about what we're about to see. I think there's actually only 1 stop card down there. But I'm not going to complain that we drew our deck so well that we couldn't trash. Okay, what do we take? Another governor? Another highways?
I don't think you get anything other than governors here. Because they're the only gains, too, right? So you can make things cheaper with highway, but then what do you do with that fact?
Yeah, Minionpawn and I have played a series of games over the last year, like in various places with governor, including one where I won the governor split 7-3, and I kind of sold out to do that, and then I just kept using my governors for draw, and they just had huge hand sizes. They didn't need to use their governors for draw, and we were able to find a win in that kingdom. That was in one of the team tournaments.
Yeah. Well, I agree in the sense that if governor were competing with a lot of sources of draw at 5 cost, then I'd be like, okay, you get a mix of the governor and the draw card. It's the fact that it's competing with like Highway and Swamp Hag. But I mean, I guess at some point you might get an Oracle instead of a governor or another gear.
Yeah. And I certainly like having, especially with kind of the way governor tends to work, is you leave a draw pile with either provinces or golds in it at the end of your turn. So having a gear to draw and set aside a couple of these things seems quite nice. And obviously Sentinel, the thinner you are, the more you can focus on using your governors for the important stuff.
Right.
It's just your opponent gets a lot of free good stuff when you're using governor. So now the question is, do we just double province here? And claim that we can
do, right?
That Personman's not close to doubling.
Maybe province and another governor would also be fine. Like another border village governor, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That also seems fine. And they did get a curse here on turn 9.
Yeah. And the Swamp Hag was bought on turn 3?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
or turn 4.
Low value Swamp Hag.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've definitely played kingdoms where you both get a pair of Swamp Hags up, and then you just kind of don't buy stuff for a while. You just use governors to gain, remodel, try to do stuff like that, but absent plus buy.
And this was never going to be one of those, right? Again, the Sentinel trashing obviously isn't ideal for getting rid of curses because they do kind of hide among your regular cards, and you have to find them with the Sentinel. But, especially with Border Guard, too. It's not even that hard. You end up finding a way to get a couple junk cards in line for Sentinel. So.
Yeah, and in theory, if you had a couple of curses, then your opponent's governor trash will help you sift through those as well. We ignored Basilica entirely. They split the Basilica points. We've ignored Bandit Fort entirely. I think you just ignore Bandit Fort.
Of course, has been having more of an effect, but it's gonna not matter very much in the end, just because the province count's gonna matter so much more.
Yeah, it is interesting with Governor. If I play Governor to gain a gold, and then I trash the gold, I've given you a silver, which is negative VP. So it's like a little bit of interesting end game math there if one of the players is not really far ahead. It does feel like one of the players is pretty far ahead now. As we see, Personman does not have any golds yet, and so they went through a lot of effort to get a couple of governors. And so it just seems like they're a turn behind, a turn and a half behind is player 1 right now.
Right. Yeah, they did win the governor split 6-4, I guess. Which isn't nothing, but closer to nothing than it is to something, maybe.
Yeah. I think we're setting aside a border village of gold. We're buying another province, and we've got all the Minionpawn has got all the golds, and now Personman is struggling to going to have to gain golds, which gain Minionpawn silvers, and maybe you trash those into Marauders in the last turn if your opponent's about to pile. But I would feel good here. At least I've got more governors than my opponent. So with best draws, with best turns, I have in theory more payload than they do. But I think Personman's going to have to use at least one extra governor drawing every turn than Minionpawn is. So it's more like a 5-4 split win than a 6-4. And they have to start gaining golds. And I think Minionpawn should be able to triple province this turn pretty easily. With the extra silvers as money. And Personman looks like they're doing something else entirely. They're going Border Village Oracle. I was not expecting that. I don't know 100%.
It seems reasonable in a way. Like, what are your chances of coming back? I take it they mostly involve your opponent like having some terrible dud, which doesn't seem likely, but maybe that's what you're swinging for. So then you're like, well, if I can like create a deck that can quintuple province,
yeah, it just seems
then I can come back.
Fairly likely that Minionpawn's going to triple this turn. This is interesting. Like
quad here, right? He just grabs the governor, turns a border village and 3 golds into provinces.
Yeah, that I think I'm pretty happy to just quad province right now.
Yeah.
And dare my opponent to do something.
Like what are they going to do when you have the provinces in your
junk you with silvers? But then they've got golds that they've got to do something with. It seems like their way back is what could have been maybe highways. I'm just this is kind of the situation where you look at the game state after this turn, you play a couple of draw cards, and then you resign almost. It's tough to think of. They still have border guards and a bunch of governors and silvers now, so like their ability to get another province it's pretty easy for them to get one more province, and they still have all those governors for draw and remodel.
That resign is completely normal.
Yeah. So very Minionpawn was spotting things faster than I was spotting them. I think you were spotting them as he was. So that was quite well played by Minionpawn.
His boat with that lurker.
Yeah, that was nice. And Personman had some unfortunate draws there. Their Sentinel completely missed the shuffle, which is pretty brutal on the Sentinel board. But I think Minionpawn earned their win, and they're going to be in B Division next season. So B Division players, look out for them. And thank you for joining me, Nerdbound.
Yeah, this was good. Peace, man.